Proverbs chapter 16, verses 3. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. He said, commit your works unto the Lord, not unto man. He said, do not be eye pleasers as committing your works unto man, but you do it as you're doing it unto the Lord. Whether you're serving your boss, don't do it as trying to be pleasing. Yes, you need to be pleasing to your boss. You need to be the best worker there. But do it as you're doing it unto the Lord and be pleasing unto God. Colossians chapter 3, verses 23. Whatever you do, whatever your job is, work, do it with all your heart, do it to the best of your ability as working for the Lord. Remember, you're working for the Lord. You are a servant of God, not for human masters, not for your boss. Yes, but you got to also do it to please your boss, because if you don't please your boss, you get fired. Ephesians chapter 6, verses 6 through 8. Not with eye service as men pleasers. Men pleasers, not as eye service. Like when your boss is around, you're doing your best job. But when your boss is not around, you slack off. So no, he said not as eye service as to men pleasers, but as bond servants of Christ, doing the will of God from the heart. You're doing it from the heart. You're doing the will of God because God gave you that job. So you're doing it as a bond servant. And he said right here, with good will, doing service to the Lord and not unto men. Again, yes, you have a boss. You got to do your job. But you're really doing it unto the Lord. You're not doing it unto your boss. And knowing that whatsoever good anyone does, he will receive the same from the Lord, whether he's slave or whether he's a free. And even so, if your boss is not a Christian, and he might mock your Christianity, he might slander you, he might talk about you for being a Christian, so the Bible says right here, your thoughts will be established. Be careful what you think about him. He's still your boss. And if you got any complaints, don't complain to him. Go to higher up. Go to God himself. Because God hears your prayers. He hears your complaints. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 10 tells us that we are to demolish every argument, everything that exalts itself, and every pretension, everything that exalts itself up against the knowledge of God. We take every thought and make it obedient to Christ. Every thought, you make it obedient to Christ. If this says something about you, anything that exalts itself against God, if this says something about God, hey, I've got a God